What's up, friends and family? Welcome to another episode of The Refined Alchemist. This is going to be the meanings to life part 2, because I didn't get to finish what I was saying in the last video. So it turns out that I only have about 40 minutes. Good to know. So let's go back to what I was saying about Christ. See, you can't believe in Jesus, right? Can't believe in religion, right? Because I'm going to tell you what the difference between spirituality and religion is. No matter what, right? You're created in the Father's image, correct? So, no matter what, the Creator, the Father, created, fathered, created, fathered, created. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what, you are from the Creator, the original source, right? So no matter how you slice it, you have the blood of Christ in you. Now, there's different species on the planet, different stuff, you know, gene splicing, all that shit. So they don't have the blood of Christ, but you have the blood of Christ. Well, do you? This being said, Christianity is like, the more I think about it, the more I'm really starting to hate Christianity, because Christianity tells you that, you know, Christ is another being, right? Another flesh and blood being. And the chances of you being that being, right, are, well, now 1 in the 7 billions, right? That's how many people we got, 7 billions. So religion, movies, music, all that shit, they always depict the one, right? So the chances of you being the one, slim to none. So you have thoughts like, oh, the chances of me being the one are no. So then you also have thoughts like, well, I'm only one person, so what can I do? Well, I'm only one person, and I'm trying to do everything I can do. So the difference between spirituality and religion is, religion first tells you you're born into bondage to sin. So, you know, if you believe in that, just like the Vikings of Valhalla, like I've already stated, you know, you kind of create your own reality. You create your own paradox, your own prison, your own shackles and weights. Or religions say the same thing. You don't practice this way, you're going to burn in hell. Right there, that's another telltale sign. So then, religion also tells you that the power belongs to other sources, you know. Christianity says it belonged to, you know, Moses, Noah, Jesus. Not you. Now, spirituality is just the exact opposite. You know, spirituality is finding power in self, finding your inner, your higher purpose, your higher self, you know, within yourself, and not putting faith in false idols and bullshit. Like I stated, it already says in the Bible several times that, you know, you shouldn't worship false gods or false idols. But then religion turns around and gives you idols and symbols to worship. The cross, right? Well, isn't that an idol? The golden calf. I mean, wasn't that a symbol too? the golden calf. I don't know, and that pissed him off. So why wouldn't a cross piss him off? And let's look at the cross. So Jesus was nailed to the cross, crucified in the most brutal of brutal ways to the cross, and you think that he's going to be happy that you go around and glorify the cross, the thing where he suffered the most upon, right? To me, that doesn't even logically make sense. Why would he want you to freaking glorify the thing that he was suffered upon? So, religion takes your power away in many different ways, First of all, born again Christianity, like I stated in other videos, will tell you people like me are damned, we're evil, because we have visions, we have premonitions, we're empaths, we're psychics, and the list goes on and on, even medians, Oh, that's a humbling thought in itself. So you have spirituality that teaches you, that you are Christ, right? That you are Christ. In one way or another, you are Christ. You're descendant. Even if you were created, unless you just straight up had the reptilian DNA, you would still have, the blood of Christ. Well, the reptilian DNA, the RH positive, no, they won't have it. But the RH negative, they'll have it. Now, there's been many original demons, we had Lilith, Cain, all the fallen, all the ones that they corrupted, the offspring that they had. Now, you think mankind is the original creation? That's another thing that religion gets fucked up. If you think the flesh was the original creation, you're severely wrong. You're severely mistaken, okay? Because if that was the case, then where the hell did the angelic beings, come from? And why is there 3 known triads of angelic beings, right? 3 triads. Each triad has 3 classes of angelic beings. In the first triad, you have the seraphim, cherubim, and the thrones. They all protect that realm, or that dimension, whatever. Well, it's the same dimension. It's here. It's in this physical space too. That's the fucked up part about it. Like, anyway, I'm not even gonna go there, but it's here. So, religion kind of takes your power away. They've already taken your power away in the Egyptian times. Like, everything out here, science, they try to rationalize shit and take even more mystical shit away. The point is like, your point of view, your perspective on how you look at things, no matter what, is what's going to define your reality. And inadvertently, the more I kind of look at shit, the more I kind of personally can relate to, like, Jesus himself. How you would envision Jesus. Because, think about it. When you read about in the Bible on how Jesus was, he was a nomad himself, he had very close friends, and he went around preaching, right? And as he was preaching, obviously he was going against literally everything that was being preached at that time. He was pissing a lot of people off. And the things that I'm saying should be pissing a lot of people off, but at the same time, it should be enlightening a lot of other people, and that's the point, like I stated, just by doing these videos, I've already put a bullseye out, so whatever, it is what it is. They'll probably use these videos to freaking make me into something that I'm not eventually, who knows. I mean, shit's going on right now, but let's not get off topic. I'm already prepared for that shit. I mean, bring on the guillotines, bitches. Anyway, moving on. So, I could kind of relate to him because, like, I'm telling you to go against religion because all religion does is take your power from you. It makes you believe in an exterior source and you give your power to an exterior source. It tells you that if you have tattoos, piercings, premonitions, and all that shit, you're damned, especially born again Christianity, because that was the religion that really fucked with my head. I went there for like 6 months. And it was like every single time I went there, it was like, you're damned, you're damned, you're damned, you're damned. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, why do I want to go every week and hear I'm fucking damned? It was crazy. And then the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, well, wait a second. That's just one religion. How many religions are out there? And I started really looking at it and it was like, well, they all kind of say the same thing. If you don't practice this religion or worship this deity, you're gonna be damned. And I'm like, well, shit, hold on. So how many righteous people are in each of these religions, right? Now, the creator, source, father, whatever, he's supposed to be a supreme being, right? One of the supreme beings. He pretty much knows everything of all realities, all time frames, so on and so forth. So I would say he was a pretty good mathematician. And like I've already stated in the witching hours, one of the biggest questions that I had to hold, severely religious people is, let's break religion down in just the 3 sections, right? They all state the same thing: live right, don't be a scumbag. And, stay away from anything mystical, because that's what it kind of teaches you, is the mystical is bad, right? They also state that if you don't practice this way, you're gonna burn. And so only one of them can be right. So we have 3 of them, and only one of them can be right. So that means 2/3 are automatically, recycled, until they figure it out, they get it right into the first one. Well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, not necessarily damned, So if one religion is wrong, well, shit, they're all wrong. And knowing how evil has manipulated literally everything in this reality, where everything has a dual purpose, even spell. Look at the word spell, spell a word. You're casting a spell. Or you're spelling a word. Like, moving on. So if you're Christ and Christ had powers, well, you have powers. I didn't ask for the gifts that I had, and some of the people that I talked to, they didn't ask for the gifts that they have. And religion tells us that the gifts that we have is all, how should I say, evil. Now, I'll stick to my guns like I've stated in every single video. Blood magic, summoning demons. It's bad. Bad, 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 bad. And are the original fallen damned? No, they're down here just tempting you to see what you're going to do with your free will. If you're going to get a taste of the power like we all have, and if you're going to be humble, you're going to be content with what you're given, or you're going to want more. Because the dark side, yep, it offers more. I mean, how do you think it attracts? You know? But here's the funny thing, you know, what we once thought was evil also doesn't necessarily mean it's actually evil. Yeah, raping and slaughtering children and all that fucking crazy Hollywood bullshit. Yeah, no, that's evil. I don't give a fuck how you try to rationalize or, you know, that kind of shit. No, blood magic is straight up, no. They're not going to the next. Okay, they fell for the trap. Yeah, and in this reality, they gained, you know, whatever it is they think they gained in this reality. But ultimately, you know, we're gonna, soon our lights are gonna be beacons in the dark. Because, you know, like I said, in order for them to pull off the Matrix, you know, and fulfill their part of the bullshit, and try to hide yet again, because they're little bitches, right? And that's ultimately what they're trying to do, is hide, run. They already did it twice, you know. They ran underwater, they ran underground. They hid behind the scenes because they're a bunch of bitches. Now they're using 5G to block prayers, to block spirituality, to block the creator. They're using metal to do the same thing, to disrupt signals, magnetic fields, the natural shit that's going on in the planet, quote unquote. It's not fear mongering. Again, it's awareness. Like, you need to be aware that these things are going on. And some people, I think that, you know, some people are also deceived on a level, because there is a spiritual awakening going on right now. And yes, your body is changing, but I think some people are mistaken also, because there is also the physical war that's going on. You know, there's a holy war, spiritual war, and physical war. The physical war, you know, we're receiving their version of the stigmata. You know, we're being infected with this shit called Morgellons. You cannot free will that shit, because it's nanotechnology, and like I've already stated, they're making shit, you know, called brain webs or neural webs, you know, type of shit, which is designed to go past your free will. So using nano buckets and pulsar sticks and shit like that, yeah, that's crucial. Using iodine to break the metals down in the body, that's crucial. By the way, I'm not doing any of this shit, because, like I stated before, I took a trip across country and my bag of all my shit was stolen, so I literally have nothing except cannabis. Because that's cheap, and where I live, shit, man. I go next door and somebody's got it. Here's the thing. You got to be aware of what your purpose is and what's going on. So you have this thing, this, you know, this nanotechnology taking over, and as I've asked in other videos, where the fuck does sand come from? Well, some of my friends, you know, they make these videos, you know, about the crystalline, you know, DNA change. Yeah, that's definitely going on, but it's just not the way you think. You know, that's the nanotech takeover. If you cut yourself, you have a scab, and your fucking blood turns to crystals, like mine does, yeah, that's not the spiritual side. Okay? That's not the spiritual side. The spiritual side would be your magnetic fields, your kundalini, your aura, chakra, chi, whatever you call it. It's all energy. So the spiritual side would be the energy side. Now, just think about that on the brain side. Out of your brain, they say you only use, what, 15%, which that's probably an inaccurate number, but you use only 15% of your brain, and your body runs off of electricity and is set up just like a battery. It has water, which is a conductor, has natural metals, iron, that are in the blood that makes it, again, conductive, right? Then you have, the aura, chakra, chi. So, based off of that, anything that would be physically happening, like the crystalline, or your blood turning to crystals and shit like that, and yeah, no, that's Morgellons. In one way or another, that's Morgellons. Like I said, Morgellons is many different things. It's a parasite, it's a fungus, it's a bacteria, it's nanotechnology, and it's metal poisoning. So sand, let's go back to sand. So I believe back in the day, exactly what's going on right now with the nanotechnology and CERN and D-Wave and, the tidal wave or tsunami of demons and the times of Noah and Babel and all that shit. This has happened before many a times. Okay? Many a times. And not just here, but in the realms themselves, like Mars itself, this has happened. They had the same technology on Mars. Where do you think the Stargates and shit came from? Yeah, eventually we went to Mars, because that's where the original fallen Gadriel, Azazel, yeah. So you had this nano takeover. And I bet you what happened is the masses, right, it just didn't know what was going on with this nano takeover. And their bodies were taken over to the point where all the natural flesh was replaced with like this poly, whatever, nano dust shit on a cellular level, and actually made you like a crystal type thing. Now here's the fucked up part. If you're turning into a crystal from the inside out, right? Just imagine if a specific sound percussion took place, right? When you shatter, right? And it's ironic because if you melt sand, right? Sand turns to glass. Well, if you hit glass with a certain sound, right? Doesn't it shatter? And when it shatters, doesn't it kind of look like sand? Well, fuck. So here we are again, right? We're going through the same bullshit again. Right? We got the nano takeover. So here's the fucked up thing. So some of you guys, you think this is, the natural side of shit. No, that's one of the, alright, so like I stated in the beginning, watching my own videos and listening to my own channels and my own downloads, and then branching out and listening to many other people and many other things, and being introduced to a Luna and her talking about other dimensions and shit, and yeah, it just makes sense. Now here's the thing, I kind of stopped watching Luna because she's not talking about the actual evil that's going on, and the way she kind of portrays things, like this is all just a glamorous event that we're all going to experience in New Earth. You guys don't understand what New Earth is. Like, New Earth is not what you fucking think. Like, this right here is not going to exist. It can't exist. Okay? This right here, this can't exist. Why can't it exist? Because this is only half of reality right now. They've split reality. They split the physical from the spiritual. They split the numerical sequence of 1 through 9. They took out 3, 6, 9 and put it somewhere else. Below us. So once those merge back into together, the third dimension and the fourth dimension will no longer exist. It would be the fifth dimension, right? The flesh won't necessarily exist. That's what the point of the twin flames are, because now you'll be merged back to your spiritual. The Holy Spirit will kind of be merged back with you, right? So the flesh won't necessarily exist. You'll be a full being at that point. From there, you have to find another full being. Together, your energies make another portal. Now, you're going to be bleeping through existences, realities, different dimensions at that time, and picking up all the good, all the willing that you possibly can. Because if you think final judgment's going to come, if there's still good out there, no. No. Now, this reality right here will transpire into another reality for a period of time, because evil will have their time to play on this existence. That's already been stated, it's already fucking happening. Whether you see it or not, it's already happening. Okay? The escalation of paranormal activity that's been going on lately, yeah, it's already here. Okay? The ships in the skies, the Space Force, it's already here. They've already been waging war on heaven. They've already been shooting rockets into heaven. Again, it's ironic, throughout my life, I've been hearing stories from people, biblical events happening, movies to predict the end of days and shit, and, it always gets you thinking, what if I see the end of days, you know what I mean? And then, you have your elders and everybody telling you, oh, no, that shit'll never happen in your time frame. The sun will never burn out in your time frame. Like, you'll never see any in your time frame, and well, shit, here we are. So I'm at 27 minutes. I got about 10 minutes. So again, I'm going against the grain in just about everything that I'm stating right now. If you're one of those religious people and you're clinging to religion in any way, shape, size, or form right now, I severely suggest you stop, because I believe that's the whole reason why reincarnation keeps happening for you and me. I mean, it was so easy to be blinded, and through this existence right here, yeah, I can understand exactly why so many people were blinded. I mean, we were just corrupted from every angle. First, they took our actual spirituality, split reality. Then they started force feeding us fucking, religion. It teaches us that we're damned, and witchcraft is evil, which that's what they try to classify spirituality as witchcraft. Being in touch with source, not summoning, right? So they give you fucking religion and tell you, okay, well, religion, yeah, all that shit. And then they actually enforced it with the Holy Crusades, the Knights Templar, the Inquisition, the witch trials, all the holy wars, right? They hid time. They burned it. They purged. They pillaged. And then they created science to disprove everything. So what good came from any religion? And every religion out there has a different deity it wants you to worship. But that's funny, because most of the commandments and shit says, oh, you shall, shall not worship any other false gods or false idols. And then it turns around and gives you exactly that to worship. Idols, it gives you symbols. Then it gives a God, Allah, God, Lord, Jesus, Jehovah. So what if these, and let's go even deeper into religion. So if evil was given dominance over this reality, which obviously it has, I mean, just look the fuck around you. I mean, I could probably find a Masonic temple right here where I lived. When I was out west, I only had to walk 100 feet, and there was one. I've got videos of it and pictures of it and shit. I bet you there's one here. So, if evil was given dominance over this reality, right, and I believe evil is actually what created the religion. I mean, just look at the fucking Catholicism. Wow. And again, if one religion is wrong, then they're all wrong. So what if the fallen angels, when they came down here, they created these religions, and each of the fallen angels kind of branched out themselves to a different region, a different area, right? And they just started corrupting that area and started making religion and making you worship them under their specific name. So inadvertently, you keep them alive. Again, that was the point of Clash of the Titans, They were starving the gods out of prayers. They didn't want to pray to the gods anymore because everything that was in this reality was unjust, unfair. And, if you break that down even more, I can see how that happened, where there would be like, the original creations, right? The Father and all his fellow people. Because if you think there's only one supreme, no. There's many angelic beings, and they're all on the same. It doesn't matter what angelic being you are, which throughout my journeys I've been trying to figure out exactly what my role is and all this stuff. And I think throughout this, last couple videos and channels and all that shit, I think I figured it out. But we'll get to that in a second. So you have the angelic beings, right? Now you have the supreme. But you had these other beings, that with the original creation, You hear about the seraphim, the cherubim, thrones, all that stuff. Well, what if they're in one way or another almost as powerful as the creator himself, the supreme, right? Maybe not ultimately, but pretty fucking close. I mean, what made you think, Gadriel would all of a sudden just say, hey, you know what, I think I could overtake this dude, or being, or whatever, right? I think it could overtake him. I mean, if he was the ultimate, where he was untouchable, then no matter what, anything that was below him, right? Anything that was below him would be like, nah, man, I ain't fucking with that. No. Where if they're pretty close in power, well, then, and free will, well, then, yeah, I mean, right, from a logical point of view, that would be the only time that you would actually attempt something like that shit. It's like, alright, think about this. You in the flesh, you're gonna go and manhandle a nuclear bomb in the flesh and think you're gonna win against a nuclear bomb in the flesh? But if you were two bullets, right? You were two bullets pointed exactly at each other. Well, either bullet has a pretty good chance of, coming out victor at that point, right? And depends on which one's better. I tell you, I'm not going up against a fucking nuclear bomb. So things that we thought was evil in the past, throughout my journey, no, it's not evil. Enlightenment's not evil. Meditation's not evil. Coming to realization of awareness is not evil. Walking the fuck away from religion of all forms. Everything in this reality, walking the fuck away from. Debt. If debt is your thought in this reality, especially right now with the stock market and everything getting ready to come crashing down, and fuck chemtrails. Chemtrails ain't even important anymore. They got TR3Bs that are pumping so much shit into the air. I've already made videos on it. And then factories pumping so much shit in the air that I can't even look 5 miles away at the nearest mountain without not being able to almost see the mountain. You know what it reminds me of when I look out the window and try to see the mountain that's like 5 miles away? That there's like a snowstorm. There's a snowstorm. And you know what I'm getting told? Oh, that's because of natural pollution and humidity. Man, there hasn't been fucking humidity in this air in fucking 2 weeks. That's first. And second, I've lived in this area my entire life. My entire life I've lived in this area. So you're telling me that all the memories that I have of those mountains are non-existent? Because those mountains have only gotten that bad this year. They weren't like that last year. No, not at all. When I looked at those mountains last year, okay, they were green. Like if I went outside and looked at my grass would be green. Now, if I look across the yard, there's a gray haze everywhere. That's not humidity. That's not natural pollution. That's not what's coming out of your cars and all that bullshit. No, not at all. That's these TR3Bs pumping mad shit into the air. And again, last thing. This is not fear-mongering. This shit's about the end. All of our purposes and everything will be revealed here shortly. I will be making more videos. I'm doing my part by putting this information out there. You should be doing your part by actually paying attention and watching these videos and making up your own damn mind. What's your part? What are you going to do in this reality? Right? I have a live stream that I'm going to be doing here on Sunday, New York time, Eastern Standard. It's going to be mostly for questions. So if you're going to attend, well, have some good questions. You know, I'll do everything in my power to try to answer them. I already know that there's going to be a few highly spiritual individuals that's going to be in there. So, you know, if I can't answer them, if I don't see them, yeah, they will. Alright, again, until next time, I love y'all. If I didn't, I wouldn't do this shit. Alright, man, I'm out.